For our project, we looked at R2-D2 from Star Wars. In the previous 6 movies and various books, we see him as a clumsy asteroid droid that tends to come in clutch and goofy ways. We wanted to upgrade him due to his poor communication skills and lack of defense capabilities.
Predispositions. The first is that new technology and gadgets can add to the plot and progression of the movie. It's also important to note that R2 is a quirky and relatable character that is largely on screen for comic relief. Keeping these ideas in mind, we wanted to add new and exciting capabilities to R2 in order to update his character while also staying true to his roots.
In order to understand R2, we decided to do some research. We sought out many resources, including Wikipedia and other Star Wars related sites. These sites gave us great information about Star Wars and R2. The coolest fact that we discovered was that R2 has 30 plus features. After learning about the hard facts, we wanted to hear from a Star Wars fan. We found Elena Ackley, who has been devoted to Star Wars ever since she saw the first movie. We had a Skype interview with Elena where we asked her a series of questions. She was glad to talk and was very passionate about Star Wars. Through our primary and secondary research, we put together 3 main insights. These were, the overall purpose of R2 was to be comical and useful. Another one was, he is not the main character or a hero, yet is a clutch character. Also, any changes must be minimal to R2. These insights really helped to guide us towards our ideas and concepts for R2.
Initially, we explored 3 main ideas for a new ability to add to R2. Our first idea was to add a type of shield that would keep R2 from being defenseless. Our second idea was to add a translator for R2's droid speak that would allow him to communicate with other characters. And our third and final idea was to add a device that allows for increased mobility.
In the Star Wars universe, scrap parts and tinkering around with upgrades is a common thing. Anakin built C-3PO, Han constantly adds modifications to the Millennium Falcon, so we wanted to create a tool that fit into this ever-upgradable universe. With this mentality, we created a very cool device called the TIR, the Translinguistic Electromagnetic Astromech Ray Shield. The TIR embodies our favorite concepts that we felt could be put into a single physical device that can manually be added or removed from R2. It contains a lens or his eye that displays in blue text R2's thoughts into many of the different languages that are in the Star Wars universe to communicate with people who don't speak binary. When Luke and R2 were traveling to Dagobah, the X-Wing had a built-in translator that allowed the two to have actual conversations, so this modification will work in the very same way. The TIR also creates a ray shield that protects R2-D2 from lasers and projectiles. At several moments throughout the story, R2 was overloaded by blast shots, so this simple shield gives him the option of a quick escape, especially since he's not built for intense combat. When designing the TIR, we wanted to make it look sci-fi yet realistic, and we wanted the viewers to be able to imagine themselves physically popping out R2's eye, placing the TIR inside of him, and getting the same lovable yet more functional robot as a result. So we went with an open casing design so that you can see all of its inner workings and complexities, yet it still has a junk or scrap metal element to it. So here you can see this is where the lens will the text will physically be on his eye. This is the shield emulator, so he's going to have the ray shield that surrounds him. And this emulator will have a physical device come out of it, and that is where the ray shield will be projected out of. This is the battery for the ray shield, and this is the battery for the backlight here, and this is the language processor. So R2, when he makes noises, he speaks in binary, but the language processor is what's going to be able to translate all of his words onto the eye on his screen. And with all sort of technology upgrades, he's going to have improved processing power and speed.
For usability testing, we looked at 4 individuals. 2 of them were casual viewers, and 2 of them were really hardcore enthusiasts who have read the books, looked at all the movies, and watched them multiple times. As far as the casual viewers go, they both really liked our idea, and one of them in particular really loved the idea of the shield. As far as the hardcore viewers go, they were a little harder to please, but they both enjoyed our designs, and they liked the eye in particular.
The great thing about our design is that it's based off of existing Star Wars technology. Deflector shields and translators are already established parts of the Star Wars canon and would make for great additions to R2. On the business side of things, we plan to excite existing fans and create new fans by creating hype for the new movie through use of social media. We also plan on releasing a new toy line through a partnership with Burger King and McDonald's.
Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed our presentation.